So today my boyfriend's not feeling too good, so I figured I'd make him something like hot and like yummy that's not going to be too heavy on his stomach. So I'm going to be making ramen. So the other day at Costco, I picked up some organic millet and brown rice ramen from Lotus Foods. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, certified organic. I'm making this a chicken ramen, so it's not going to be vegan, obviously. I also have some frozen kosher chicken that I bought from Costco that's really yummy. I'm putting it in this plastic bag, and I'm going to fill this container up with water and zip this up. It's a quick, easy way to defrost stuff if you forgot to put it in your fridge the night before. So this is going to defrost right now, and while this is going, I'm going to go ahead and get my other ingredients together. I decided that I'm going to season this also while it's defrosting, so I'm just going to throw a little soy sauce in there just for S's and G's, and then some Worcestershire sauce as well. Next, I'm going to put some onion powder, some Old Bay, a little dash of turmeric, some ginger, that's for inflammation, through a little bit of garlic powder, some poultry seasoning, lemon pepper, and some furikake, which is like Asian seasoning. And then I'm just gonna mix. I went ahead and mixed everything, so now it's submerged in the water, but just to keep it even lower, I'm gonna use a mug to just kind of keep that down and just weigh it down. So that way it stays submerged, and that way it'll thaw that much quicker. I also just realized I had some leftover kale. The other day I prepped some for some potato kale soup, so I'm just gonna utilize this, use my leftovers, save some money. You know how that goes. I had someone hit me up in the DMs right now to ask about the temperature of the water. You want the temperature of the water to be cold. You don't want it to be warm because that's going to start the cooking process too early. So when you utilize this method of defrosting, always use cold water. So now you're probably wondering, Chef, how do I know if it's done or not? How do I know if it's fully defrosted? Well, if it's soft and there's give when you push on it, that's how you know it's done. This isn't fully done. It takes probably about 15 minutes for it to fully. Okay, so through the magic of television, it is complete. So I have some coconut oil that's been melted in there. I'm gonna throw the chicken in and start the cooking process. I put the heat on high. Now I'm gonna start frying up the chicken. And you're just gonna let that sizzle on high till you start to see it get brown. Which it is starting to get brown now. How now, brown cow or chicken? So now I'm just gonna throw some garlic cloves in there and let that cook down. Get nice and fragrant and meld those flavors together. Now that's starting to cook down, so I lowered the temperature and let that cook down. I'm going to throw a little more salt on there. This is kosher salt. I poured off the grease, and now you see like all these little bits and pieces of chicken there. That's called sook, and that's going to give you some flavoring in your seasoning. So I'm going to start pouring in my chicken stock, and I've got about 2 boxes of that. Put your pan back on high so it's nice and sizzling, and then you're just going to pour in your broth. And now you're going to deglaze. That's what this technique is called. It's called deglazing. So I'm putting that in there. And now that we've got our chicken going in the broth, we want to bring this to a boil on high. Once it's boiling, we're going to taste it. We're going to adjust the seasonings. Then we're going to start adding the kale and the noodles. So now that it's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and taste this, adjust the seasonings as needed, scoop out all the froth there so that it's not greasy, and I'll hit you back once that's completed. I'm adding a ton of furikake in there because it's good for you. It's got a lot of iron and iodine. I'm going to add some salt and some pepper. Here we go, a little bit of low sodium soy sauce. Adding the salt. That's about teaspoon. Now I'm going to go ahead and taste this and make sure that the seasoning's right. Tastes good to me. All right, next up, kale. Adding the kale. I'm just going to throw the whole bag in there. It's going to wilt down anyway. So I'm going to let that stew for a bit. I've brought this back up to a boil on high, so now this is starting to wilt and get like a nice green color. I think I'm going to let it cook for like about a minute more, and then I'm going to add my ramen cakes. Now I'm going to start adding my ramen cakes. I got 1, I got 2, let's go with 3. And then that's going to cook down for about 3 minutes. Now these ramen cakes are starting to break down. The noodles are starting to get soft. I like to use my chopsticks to do that, help break them apart. These chopsticks are from China. My mom brought them to me as a souvenir from a trip she took. So it's going to be about... And I think we're ready. See, the timer goes off. Oh, there we go. See, right on time. All right, babe, it's ready. Awesome. Yes, ramen. Yes. Love it. Oh, that looks so good. Whew, steaming. Can't wait to try this.